Hi, it's Liz from G-Mum's Place again, here with another book review on A Love Sweat. This one, number 731, Caught in the Act by Janis Reams Hudson. Here is the synopsis. She'd take everything he gave and give everything she had. Betrayed and on the run, Trace Youngblood needed a hiding place. But would Lillian Roberts be his downfall or his deliverance? Drawn to the rugged agent who embodied her secret yearnings, feisty Lillian Roberts trusted him with her life. But would she trust him with her heart? Janis Reams Hudson's smart, sexy tale of love on the run stars a lady who created the hero of her dreams on paper, never imagining he'd break down her door. Could a man who'd vowed he wouldn't be the answer to a school marm's prayers confess he planned on loving her forever? And here are the first paragraphs. Damn, but he'd forgotten how bad it hurt to get shot. Trace Youngblood leaned against the dark side of the mammoth dumpster at the edge of the rural convenience store's parking lot. The phone booth at the corner of the cinder block building a dozen yards away was his goal. He hoped to God he didn't bleed to death before he got there. His clothes had finally dried, except for the blood soaking through his shirt and jacket. But he still felt frozen clear through to the bone from the storm that had drenched him. His teeth chattered loud enough to alert the next county. He couldn't figure out why he was still alive. Rackley and Mendez should have been able to find him while he'd lain unconscious in the rain-drenched woods. How long he'd been out was anybody's guess, but it must have been more than a couple of hours. It had been daylight when the deal went down. Now it was well past dark. He checked his watch. The crystal was shattered, the hour hand gone. However long he'd been unconscious, it obviously hadn't been long enough. He wanted nothing more than to sink to the ground and rest. Just for a minute. Maybe two. Yet he knew if he relaxed so much as a muscle, he'd be down for the count. He locked his knees to keep from sliding down the side of the dumpster. Maybe he'd just close his eyes for a few seconds. No, couldn't do that. Too many things waiting in the dark. Too many images. Guns centered on his chest. The barrel of his own .357 staring back at him. Blood, shock, betrayal. Ingram's blank, dead eyes. Rackley's wild, furious ones. No, don't close your eyes, man. Don't play back that scene. His vision was blurring. He blinked. Above the pounding of his own blood in his ears and the screaming of at least 1 million frogs in the woods nearby, he thought he heard music, something about angels. In the next instant, a Dodge van, its maroon paint faded and chipped, whipped off the highway and into the parking lot. The driver, a woman, had her window down, the radio blasting something twangy and mournful about Spanish angels. He never thought he'd be relieved to hear Willie Nelson. For a minute there, he'd thought, nah, no heavenly choir would be singing for Trace Youngblood. Not tonight, not any time soon. He had a score to settle. Youngblood slid deeper into the shadows. No point alarming innocent citizens. Before the woman in the van had killed her engine, a black and white Lincoln County Deputy Sheriff's car pulled into the spot next to her. Youngblood let out a breath of relief. Here, then, was help. As soon as he could gather enough strength to make it across the parking lot and show his badge. While he fumbled for his badge, a hard shiver rattled him. Vaguely, he heard the deputy call a greeting to the woman in the van. She called back and mentioned something about the radio. At first, all Youngblood noticed about the radio was that it had quit blasting that god-awful country music. Just as his fingers clasped the cool leather holding his badge, the radio in the van caught his attention again. If possible, His blood turned even colder. Armed and dangerous. We repeat, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation has issued an all-points bulletin for OSBI agent Trace Youngblood, suspected of murdering a fellow member of the State Attorney General's Special Task Force on Drugs. Federal Drug Enforcement Administration agent Timothy Ingram was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect's superior OSBI agent, Daniel Rackley, was on the scene and witnessed the shooting. Rackley and Ingram allegedly came upon Agent Youngblood making a drug buy from a suspect the task force had been investigating. The incident took place in rural Lincoln County, and the suspect is believed to be armed and extremely dangerous. Anyone with information. The sudden roar of blood in Trace's ears drowned out the rest of the broadcast. He ground his teeth and swore silently. Damn that lying, murdering son of a bitch. In that scene, Lillian hasn't met Trace yet, but she does soon after and is scared silly. I'd like to share another section of the book with you, which describes popular fiction to a T. It is also why I like fiction rather than factual books. Because I write popular fiction? I know it's popular, he cried. It's just not realistic. No, she shook her head. I mean, yes, my books are popular, but I meant I write popular fiction rather than literary fiction. If you want a reality check in your novels, read literary fiction. Some of the most depressing books in the world, if you ask me. Good is never rewarded, evil is never punished, and by the end of the book, there's no hope left for anybody, especially the reader. Tired of craning her neck to look up at him, she stood. People read popular fiction for enjoyment, and because subconsciously it reinforces the need to believe that truth and right and honour will prevail in the end. But they don't. That's my point. And that's my point, Lillian argued. People know there's no guarantee of a happy ending for themselves. They understand that. But if we don't believe it's possible, if we don't believe that out there somewhere everything does turn out right, then what hope do we have left? Why bother getting out of bed in the morning if we can't believe in something? She wasn't getting through to him, and suddenly it was important that she did. With two hands, she pushed her hair back from her face. Look at what you do for a living, she said. You know you're not going to solve every case assigned to you, but you try, don't you? You try because you believe. You know that sometimes things work out right. If you didn't believe that, you'd never be able to do the job you do. But you do your job, day in and day out, like it or not. And believe me, it pains me to say it, but that makes you and every man like you a hero. All my books do is reinforce that belief you have. Leave the reader with a little hope that things can go right. What are you grinning at? You really think I'm a hero? Don't let it go to your head. Around you, not a chance. Lillian is a third-grade teacher and an author of detective novels. And Trace is an OSBI agent working with the DEA. This book made me laugh out loud and cry a little into my coffee. Obviously, I really enjoyed this book. I have put a link below to more of Janis Reams Hudson's books, as you can't get the Love Sweats anymore. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, smash the like button, and leave me a comment to say hi. Thank you very much for watching this video.